Humes to chase around all day, and Chris Merchant has really shown his ability as a runner as well. And plus that receiving core for Western Ontario Mustangs that have really gave them a challenge at points in this game. So it'd be nice if they could pick one off and run one back here. That would definitely help their momentum going forward, and a tough day logging some long drives out there on the field this afternoon.
Yeah, this game is not nearly away from the McMaster Marauders. The gap is 14, but still 7:06 to go. And we all know that the clock gets a lot more interesting inside that 3-minute warning, so plenty of time for the Marauders, but they've really got to get something going here. And this time, Troy, after the penalty, with Western backed up to their 12, this seems like the opportunity. Yeah, and you got to believe that Western's going to play things safe here, keep things on the ground. They're not going to give any gifts out at this point in the game. Merchant has Humes in with him. And that's where the ball's going to go. Humes bounces off a couple. He'll have a short gain. Looks like it was only 2 to bring up a 2nd and 8. So a big play here for McMaster's defense if they can hold the Mustangs to 7 yards or less. Merchant out of the gun. He's going to take off himself. Rolls away from 1. He's under pressure. Gets the ball away. And how in the world did Merchant pull that off? First down to the 25-yard line. Malik Bessegier found himself open, and Merchant on the run put it on the money. Well, Merchant's done just about everything today in this football game. Again, eluding a tackler, rolling out. Instead of throwing that ball, finds a receiver. Instead of throwing that ball out of bounds, finds a receiver. Enough for a first down, continuing this drive. And eating time off that clock at this point in the game is all important. Merchant right back to Humes. Bit of a hole opens. And he'll skip his way just across the 30-yard line. Looks like the 31. Bring up 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. And now, Troy, if you're the Marauders with a 14-point deficit, that clock's going to start ticking as we go under 5 minutes by the time this ball is snapped. Yeah, that clock's become the enemy of McMaster at this point in the game. Merchant rolls away from pressure, has an open target, and that'll have the first down out past the 40-yard line. Hauled in by Justin Nixon. And again, Western very slowly coming up to the line. They'll now be able to take this drive to under 4 minutes on the clock. Quick hitter to Nixon. He dropped the football. Yeah, it may have been a situation there where Nixon was looking for an opening, looking to run before he caught the ball. And dropped that one. 2nd down here for Western. This is a huge stop they need here for McMaster. 2nd and 10. Well, the unfortunate part for Western on that one, Troy, is it stopped the clock from running. Had to wait till the ball was placed. Now Merchant in trouble. He's able to roll away from it. Towards the sideline, he wants to stay in bounds. And Tyler Monroe with the tackle. And I'm not sure what they're flagging here. Merchant put the brakes on inbounds.
Yeah, he sure did, and I was surprised that he did because he knew he was going to take a hit. Puts the brakes on here, and the tackle was made like a yard inside the boundary.
Officials called a face mask.
I don't think that was against Merchant. I'm not sure where there was a face mask there. He was tackled below the waist.
So a little bit of confusion, but the clock now rolling, and it'll be inside 3.5. Humes has it. Not a lot of room to run into, but at this point, he'll be able to take the clock under the 3-minute warning.
Now Merchant over the 100-yard mark. 12 carries, 100 yards. With an 8.5 yard average today. He's just done it everywhere. He's caught a pass for a touchdown. He's thrown touchdown passes. He's been Mr. Everything for Western this afternoon.
2nd and 9. Merchant has the ball. Flips it out to Humes. Needs to get inside the 35. He's got that and then some inside the 30 with 2:46 to go.
Well, this has been a textbook drive for the Western Mustangs. When you want to eat the clock up and keep your opponent on the field, not give them any possessions at all, this is the book right here. And there's going to be a timeout, I think, on the field.
Yeah, it'll be the official 3-minute
official
warning.
3-minute warning, and down to 2:46.
Let's take a look at other action going on around the OUA this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Right now, Ottawa and Queens in a back and forth, 30-27 in the fourth quarter for Ottawa. Windsor and Waterloo all tied up at 35 apiece. Guelph with a 26-12 lead over York, and Toronto and Laurier, which all of a sudden becomes a very interesting game, coming up at 7 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, Guelph lost that first game in the MAC and won last week and looking pretty good this week.
And how about Windsor holding in there with Waterloo?
Waterloo, yeah. Waterloo, much improved team. We're going to see them the final home game of the season here.
October the 19th. The Waterloo Warriors will be in Hamilton to play the Marauders here at Ron Joyce.
Well, I don't know about you, and I think it's the first time I probably ever said this, but I can't wait to get home and watch tennis.
Well, that is a great point. I'm hoping somebody's going to give me updates because I'm actually calling a boxing show tonight over at the Hamilton Convention Center.
Nice.
On pay-per-view.
I will keep you posted.
I would appreciate that. I really would. I got 9 fights tonight, so the Fisherman's Friend will be in full usage. Might see if somebody can get me a tea at intermission.
I'll be watching tennis, or I'd bring you one.
Well, that would be lovely. Chris Merchant in the gun. Handoff as Trey Humes runs into the line. But yeah, if you haven't been paying attention to Bianca Andrescu and her run, I mean, we're talking back-to-back major tournaments now.
Yeah, the U.S.
Making
Open.
Canada proud.
U.S. Open. It's like having a Canadian play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. $2:15 to go here in the fourth quarter, 2nd and 8. And Western obviously in no hurry. The house is coming for the Marauders. Passes out, caught inside the 20, battling his way to the 10-yard line. Cole Majoros does a really nice job, and that's going to bring it all the way down to $1:59.
Yeah, Cole Majoris, the star that he is, and his name has just been called once today as a receiver. That's his second reception in this game, and that's hard to believe. But Chris Merchant, with all kinds of tools, has used 8 different receivers today. $213 yards receiving.
Merchant with Humes to his left. Humes will have the ball down to the 6-yard line, maybe the 5 if he was able to reach out on the end. And Troy, the end of this is quickly becoming academic with this drive. Remember, Western got the ball with 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, talking about putting the Python squeeze on a team. Western's done it here with McMaster. They've just basically played keep away here the latter half of this fourth quarter, and that's all they've needed to do.
This is 2nd and goal. Merchant's going to keep it himself. He's forced back to the middle, and he'll be piled up on down at the 4. And Coach Potasic is going to use the Marauders' final timeout with 1:13 left to play. And the question here for Western is, what are they going to decide to do? Because if they kick the field goal, which from here would be a simple